Guys, welcome into my official NFL Week Number 4 picks and predictions, where I predict the score of every single game. And we've got a doozy Thursday night Amazon Prime matchup to kick off Week 4. The 3-0 Miami Dolphins traveling to take on Cincinnati, who just got their first win last week. And guys, I do think they get their second win and improve to 2-2 this week. Cincinnati listed as 3.5-point favorites. I will say the one bet that I do love in this game is the over 47. Tua, there's concussion concerns, but it seems like he's fine. He's been medically cleared. But I do like Cincinnati at home. I think Jamar Chase goes off in this game. They win this game 31-24. Cincinnati improves to 2-2. Miami does have some breathing room after getting that big win over Buffalo. They fall to 3-1 on the year. Moving to the 9:30 a.m. I love these 9:30 games. They're so nice. They're very polarizing. Some people love them, some people don't. But this is the London game, so it's neutral site. It is it is Minnesota. And Kirk Cousins coming off their comeback win over Detroit. They will be taking on Jameis Winston and a struggling New Orleans Saints offense. And guys, I was very tempted to pick the Saints because it is the NFL. It is unpredictable, but it's just too much when it comes to the offense for the Saints. It's very unique. They've got Chris Olave, who looks like an emerging young superstar, but they haven't done anything in terms of the first half scoring of their games. They've started off very slow, and you've got a Minnesota team. I love Justin Jefferson this week. I think he gets back on track. He had the huge week 1, very quiet week 2 and week 3. Minnesota, they're a solid team. They're 2.5-point favorites. I understand. Tough game to predict. Both of these teams traveling very far, but I do think Minnesota overall is the better team. It is neutral site, the 9:30 a.m. game. They get the win over New Orleans, who is coming off a bad loss at Carolina. Next, we're on to the 1 o'clock window. It's an AFC-NFC. The Cleveland Browns traveling to Atlanta. First time in the new stadium for the Browns. They're taking on the Falcons, and I do like the Browns to hold steady. They know they need to win these games. They're only 1.5-point favorites. We see what Atlanta's been doing. Marcus Mariota, Patterson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, they have a decent young offensive nucleus. But guys, this Browns team, we'll see what happens with Myles Garrett. The accident he had yesterday, the single car crash, it looks like he's okay. Hopefully he'll be able to play in this one, but the Browns utilizing Nick Chubb, utilizing Kareem Hunt, salting that clock away. Jacoby Brissett's been good enough. The addition of Amari Cooper has completely changed that offense. They get the win. They need to win these games against teams that aren't very good, although Atlanta, they've been good. They've been a surprise on offense. I think the Browns win this game 23-17 personally. Next, we've got the Commanders traveling to Dallas. Guys, I went back and forth on this game, picking the Commanders originally, changing it to Dallas. Guys, I am sticking with the Dallas Cowboys, and I've got 3 words. Trust Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, game manager, perfect backup quarterback. He's not going to cost you the game. And my main issue with the Commanders and their chances of winning this game, the overall offensive line. The struggles they had. Carson Wentz getting sacked multiple times in the first half against Philadelphia. Now you go up against a Dallas defensive line that has been generating elite pressure. Very concerned about Carson Wentz in this one, but I will say I do still think the Commanders are undervalued in terms of their overall skill position talent. You've got Curtis Samuel. You've got Dotson in the first-round pick. You've got McLaurin, of course. I like their talent, but I like Dallas at home. They've also got a very solid defense using both the running backs, the two-headed monster, Tony Pollard, and Zeke. Dallas at home, they're listed as 3-point favorites. I wouldn't touch this game. The only thing I might do would be to go in on Dallas money line, but some games you just got to stay away from them, and this is one of those where if I have to pick, I'm picking Dallas, I'm picking Cooper Rush because of the defensive line going up against that Commanders offensive line, but it's a game I'm probably staying away from in terms of betting. Next, we've got Seattle. on the road in Detroit. Detroit coming off that tough loss. That they were up by so many points against Minnesota on the road. They end up losing. Seattle kind of has a tough home loss to Atlanta. I love the over in this game. Going to be a very high-scoring game. Jared Goff has been good this year. Geno Smith's been good enough, especially with those weapons around him. But I do like Detroit, just as a team in general, to get this win 31-27. Detroit -6. I mean, that's a lot of points, to trust Detroit with. I understand they have been scoring a lot. Amon-Ra St. Brown a little banged up. Hopefully he'll be playing. DeAndre Swift and others, they've got a decent offense. And how great has Jeff Okudah been? Possibly the comeback player of the year, an absolute shutdown cornerback. And Seattle, I just think, they're on the road. They're traveling West Coast to East Coast. Geno Smith, I'm not going to trust him. I will take Detroit, who's shown me some things, especially on offense. I will take them at home. The next 1 o'clock game, we've got Tennessee traveling to Indianapolis. This is a major early season matchup. Of course, Indianapolis coming off that huge Week 3 win over Kansas City. It was a major upset. Tennessee got a big win in their own right. They were 0-2. They were in a game that was kind of a toss-up against Vegas. They stop a late 2-point conversion. They win 24-22. Good for them. Ryan Tannehill looked really good. I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit of Malik Willis, but I have loved Indianapolis since the beginning of the season started. I just like the way their team is built. Matt Ryan, I think, is, still has something in the tank. Indianapolis has a really sound defense. They've got a really good running game. They've got a really good offensive line. They've got a good young wide receiver. Indianapolis at home, I've got them covering the 3. I like the over in this game. For whatever reason, Tennessee and Indianapolis always seem to play higher scoring games when they play in Indy, in Lucas Oil, in the Dome. But I like Indianapolis at home. Even after Tennessee kind of came alive, I'm still wary of Tennessee's skill position weapons besides Derrick Henry. The receivers, is Robert Woods enough? Is Treylon Burks enough? I don't think so. I think Indianapolis wins this division, and this game is going to help them do that. Next, we've got Chicago traveling to take on the New York Giants. The Giants coming off that disappointing Monday night loss last night to Cooper Rush. They were up 13-6. By the way, I really enjoyed that Monday night game. I don't know why. It wasn't high scoring, but it just seemed like Cooper Rush and Daniel Jones both played well. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but they are taking on Chicago, and a lot of people are pissed off. They don't believe in Justin Fields. It's getting rough. I have this game 23-16, which was just the score of last night's game, but I do have the Giants winning this one. It is just tough for me to pick Chicago to go to 3-1. A lot of people don't realize this because everyone's talking about how bad Justin Fields is playing. They are 2-1, but I've got them losing this game, dropping to 2-2. The Giants will improve their record to 3-1 with this victory. Giants 3.5-point favorites. I like the under in this one. I just don't see a ton of points generated between Daniel Jones and Justin Fields. And right now, they got to do something for Justin Fields, or it's getting real bad. A lot of people getting off the Justin Fields, bandwagon. I still want to give Justin more time. It is kind of a situation where how much do you blame Fields? How much do you blame the overall offense? There's, they have a bad offensive line. They've got very little skill position help. It's something that's very tough to judge right now, and it's really hurting Justin Fields' development. Also, they don't have a great offensive coach. It's not a good situation, but yes, Justin Fields is playing very, very bad right now. It's tough to pick him. Next, we've got an exotic AFC-NFC game. It's Jacksonville traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. I've got to go with the Eagles in this one. They are playing amazing, and they're at home against the Jacksonville team, who, in my opinion, is due for kind of a bad performance after the major win they had, the major upset they had against the Chargers. I've got it at 35-20. Jalen Hurts, that offense. You've got Devontae Smith. You've got A.J. Brown. Miles Sanders out of the backfield, and also Jalen Hurts' running ability. The number one story Is Jalen Hurts proving to be a franchise quarterback? Is he going to do that this year? So far, so good. They're going to continue it. Jacksonville, a surprise 2-1. They're going to drop to 2-2. Philadelphia gets this win, and give me the over in this game, and give me Philadelphia covering the 6.5. The next game, we have the New York Jets and possibly the return of Zach Wilson traveling to Pittsburgh, and it looks like Pittsburgh, at least for this week, is sticking with Mitch Trubisky. They've had such a hard time generating offense. I think they should make the switch to Kenny Pickett. You've got Deontay Johnson. You've got a young possible superstar George Pickens, Najee Harris, Chase Claypool. There is no excuse for this offense to be as bad as it is. And I do have this one as a possible upset with the Jets winning. I love Garrett Wilson. Zach Wilson, this could be a game for him to really come back, step up. And also you've got Elijah Moore. You've got Breece Hall, Michael Carter. The Jets legitimately are stacking, solid NFL talent. And I like them possibly winning in an upset over Pittsburgh. And I think this is the game that's going to propel Mike Tomlin to make a QB change. And we will see Kenny Pickett after Pittsburgh loses this game. They would drop to 1-3. You would have the Jets and Zach Wilson getting a tough road win. Pittsburgh right now, 3.5-point favorites in that one. We've got another major. This is another game. I'm shocked this is a 1 o'clock game. It's Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. You'd think they would at least make this a 4:25 game. I don't know what is going on, but I will take Josh Allen in Buffalo to bounce back on the road. I think this is kind of a correction game. Baltimore's been winning a lot. Buffalo just came off a loss. It's interesting. The ESPN FPI actually favors Baltimore, the home team, with a 54% chance to win. Vegas has it at -3.5 for Buffalo. I would say due to their potent offense, and I do think Buffalo and Josh Allen do beat out Lamar Jackson. I am a little bit concerned. I know Lamar has been really good. Just the overall weapons on that offense for Baltimore. We'll see J.K. Dobbins. Is he healthy? Is he finally going to get 15, 20 touches? He was limited coming back in New England. I like Buffalo. I think this is Josh Allen's year. I've said it before. Everyone expects him to win the MVP. If he's going to win it, he's got to show up with about 4 touchdowns in this game. The next 1 o'clock game, it is the LA Chargers traveling to Houston. The Chargers just really banged up. The Joey Bosa injury, he's going to be out for a while. Justin Herbert's trying to play through his injury, and you've got their left tackle who is out for the year now. So I have the Chargers winning this game very close. I don't have them covering. This could possibly be an overtime game. Houston doesn't have a great offense, but at least, they're a team at home that can score a little bit and make games respectable. It's a situation where Keenan Allen is expected back, so I'll take the Chargers to win this game after a brutal loss at home where they got blown out. But tread cautiously with betting on the Chargers. They are a team that is really banged up right now. On to the 4 o'clock window, we've got Arizona traveling to Carolina. The NFL throws Arizona a bone and makes this a 4 o'clock game. They could have very easily made this a 1 o'clock start, but it is 4:05. And I just do not trust Kyler Murray and that Arizona offense to generate much of anything. Baker Mayfield's been bad. At some point, you'd think him and DJ Moore would connect. There would be, a good breakout game for Baker, possibly in this one. Also, maybe Christian McCaffrey goes crazy. Carolina is at home. They did get a win last week against New Orleans. This is a game where you've got a team traveling West Coast to East Coast with an offense that's in flux. I don't trust it. I don't trust their running game. With James Conner, I will take Carolina at home to cover the 2-point spread. The 4:25 games, so this is the big game that they put at 4:25 instead of Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. It's going to be Brian Hoyer traveling to face a run-first Green Bay offense. It's a really, really bad game. Mac Jones is expected to be out for multiple weeks. Green Bay is trending right now -10.5 due to the injury to Mac Jones. And I know it's the NFL. I know we've seen backup quarterbacks come in and play crazy well. I just can't see a scenario where you're facing a really good defense on the road. Brian Hoyer, a career backup with a potentially banged up Jacoby Myers, a mediocre running game. I don't see New England generating much of anything. Maybe Bill Belichick is able to hold Green Bay to 24, but this should not be a close game. I've got Green Bay winning easily 30-10. The other 425 game, it's a in-division AFC West matchup. It's Denver and Russell Wilson still looking to find their footing on offense, traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Of course, this is kind of one of those parity games, and Vegas sniffed it out right away. You've got a 2-1 team facing an 0-3 team, and the 0-3 team is the favorites, and I'll explain why that is. And I do have the 0-3 team winning. Vegas is better than their record. I would be very surprised if they started 0-4. And also Denver, they have not gelled on offense. They almost lost to Houston. They probably should have lost the Sunday night game to the 49ers if Jimmy G doesn't play horribly. I think this is a higher scoring game. Russell Wilson finds his footing in that Denver offense, but they end up losing. The Raiders get their first win. Devontae Adams, big game. They haven't really targeted him. He hasn't had a ton of yards. He's going to be very vocal this week about wanting the ball. Play him in your daily fantasy lineups, things like that. He's going to, he should go off. Him and Justin Jefferson are two receivers that I expect to have huge bounce back performances. On to the Sunday night game. So, guys, we have to proceed with extreme caution. They're evacuating people in Florida right now. This is the Sunday night game. We don't know if this is going to be played in Tampa, if they're going to move this game. There's a lot of uncertainty with the hurricane that's coming in this weekend. I do think Patrick Mahomes bounces back wherever this game is played, and Kansas City gets the win. There's just so much uncertainty about Tampa Bay with the receivers. Mike Evans will be back after his one-game suspension. Chris Godwin, will he play? We will see. But I think this is a game. Kansas City loses one last week at Indianapolis. They're going to want to bounce back. They're going to get a win against a Tampa Bay team who has just not been good offensively, with Tom Brady maybe finally showing his age. And then the final game, this is the Monday night matchup. It is the LA Rams traveling to San Francisco. And guys, trust Jimmy G at home. But seriously, I do like San Francisco. I just think they have a completely stacked, loaded roster. The Rams have been good after that really bad week 1 performance. But to me, this is a parity game. This is a correction game. No, I was not one of the people that thought Jimmy G was better than Trey Lance. I love Trey Lance. I thought they were going to possibly go to the Super Bowl with Trey Lance, but Jimmy G is still a very serviceable backup. I will take San Francisco winning this Monday night game. It's pretty bad for the NFL. They got Jimmy G on Sunday night and then Jimmy G on Monday night. There's a number of other games you could have here, but it's just the way it worked out. But guys, those are my official NFL Week 4 picks and predictions. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.